We're back in the Dahlia patch again, and I'm just going to show you that the ones that we set 4 up on the 6th of January, which is about the time it suits our show, and it has some variations. I've done some on the 6th and some a week later, and I'm just going to show you what the results is. These here are winky kernels. They're not a tall growing bush, although they'll finish up here somewhere. And because I've taken them out, the centres out, that stops them from actually getting their height as well. As you'll see here, in this lot here, there was a couple more and then 4 up, but there's no buds on there yet. There'll be, I would say, a week, a bit more than a week, probably could be 10 days before that'll form buds on it. Here's one that I just simply didn't disbud at all, and you can see it's gone right up to a crown bud, which is in the middle, and we have other ones down here. Now that is approximately about 17 days off flowering, which to me is well, it could be useless, but I'll just leave it on there. I'll take this side one off because he's not going to grow to anything. Now I've taken these 2 out actually, and one down here previous to now, and you can see why that. See the shoots starting to come, the laterals coming down here. They'll come up fairly quickly, and I'll have flowers for later for there. Now we move back this way further. We have one that I've done earlier. We have a bud here, a later bud here, a smaller one, and one larger than over here. So we've got 1, 2, 3 different dates there, and we've got one down here, which is the 4th. It hasn't even got one on there. Once again, near the same date as that one there, but that's what I've set the bush at, and I think it's a show around that time. But I'm just going to show you the variations that we've got along here. Now we have this one here is the 4 up. We've got 2 here with buds, this one and this one over here with none. So that's perfect what I want. I'm going to get a variation there, and for the actual shows. Now we come over here again, where I've done one slightly later, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We have no buds at all. This one here will be spot on for our show, because it will take at least a week, a little bit more, for little buds to form on those laterals. Even when they do form, they won't be all the same. They'll probably be a week or 2 weeks apart. That's on there. So I think I'll make a point with that is that just because the bush is got 4 laterals on it, you don't have to stop the bush then. You stop the bush to the time you want the flowers for the shows, and not because it's got 4 up or 6 up. In fact, I would prefer for it to have 8 up. Have 8 up and bring your bush back to 4. Stop at 4 opposites when you go in, which I've shown you before. That gives you a lot more leaf cover, a lot more feed coming into your bush, because the leaves do that, than what if you stop at 4. If you stop it just plainly when it gets to 4 up and stop it, those 4 can flower anytime. Well, from that date you do that, that's when it'll flower. So do it to suit your show and to the shows you're going to, and not because the bush has got 4 up or 6 up. As I said, I prefer to have it, 8 up, because that gives me more leaf, more protection, but also gives me more growth into my flowers. So alright, I will go on. We'll do some bit of disbudding, and I'll put these wires on to show how they go on and why we use them. We're over the other side now, and where there's some buds in my hand. I've got to think, well, I call them neck stretchers or supports or whatever you like to call them, and you'll see that the way they've folded. I'll turn around sideways around here. The early ones are made were short. They only had one loop on them, and I found they were too hard to use and too hard to control, because when you put your rubber band around the plant like that, it never really suited. And if you'd loop them around there like a double half hitch around there, they keep on slipping on you. Because you've got to remember that these will keep growing upwards as they grow out. So I went and made longer ones, and which is here. The idea with the longer ones, you've got 4. You can this one's got 5. It's even better. You can tighten them. You can tighten your rubber band up, go back a day or so later, and just keep clipping it up. So you don't have to put too much pressure on your bud. The wire don't have to be that strong. It's only a support. And if you look at the actual top, I'll sit that there, and you'll see the actual angle of it is. You simply, if you want the flower to a more angle, you just bend it like that, and then actually put it on. The rubber bands that I use are 35s. You can get different ones, but I found that if they're any shorter than that, the time you get, often if you double half it's around there, you haven't got enough left to stretch. And the thinner ones don't simply stand up long enough. So these are 35s, you can get them from a lot of places around. Now, that one there, to me, is slightly too far gone, although it will be effective because the stem is still actually stiff. This is the stage I like to put them on, which is just showing colour. See, here we are, just showing colour. So this one here, because it's got a node just there, I simply put that over the node like that, thread it down in there and push this up, see that, like that. Now I'll just clip this in down in the bush. Now you can see that that's sitting up 45. If it wasn't quite, I would put more, just a little bit more angle on it there like that. Don't do these first thing in the morning when they're cold. They'll just go off you or put too much pressure on them. The other thing with these, because the depth that it goes down, it gives it more stability, because it goes down and the rest of the bush will hold the bottom for you. So there's your wires. It's on there, and sometimes if it goes down too far like that, which is going too far, just put a half inch in there like that, take up a bit more rubber. Make sure it's straight at the back, and there it is. Now, because these are put on while these are soft, and as soon as the older they get, the stem starts to harden. And you can see over here, with this one here, that is quite firm. There's no sense really putting them on there when they're that stage, because it won't make much difference. You can hold up, it'll keep springing back when you take it off. This is the stage you actually put them on. So you can see what I do there. Now, because this is no good for me showing, it's out of date, I'll just simply flick it off like that. And this one here, this goes too. Now, here I've got a bud, a little side bud either side of it, which I don't want. I will leave that one. I'll take that shoot out and that shoot out. And if there's none there, no. So, because I've stopped it here, I've got one with a bud. That's going to be on time, or I'll put it back from the time I want, and we've got more shoots coming up. And the idea was just do different variations of them. These are on time for a show, and that is probably is too. So I'm going to have to come along and wire him out. before he gets too old. But that's our idea, to bring these laterals coming up from the bottom. And like I say, here you've got one lateral there, you take that one out of there and leave that one there, because that is for the show. Same here. And take that one out of down there, and the little other one out from down here. Now what I've done, I've stopped everything right down to here, so that all this is going to go into this flower. But at the same time, what's below that, the laterals below that, are going to shoot now. They're going to shoot out from there and come up to the next lot. And as these Dahlias get more flowers on them, these are, as you can see, the first lot, they take longer to come out. As your bushes get older, have more flowers on them, they'll come out quicker. From a bud, from a pea-sized bud to a flower, a lot quicker. And of course you've got water lilies, collarettes and those, they're a lot quicker again than what these are. So yeah, that's about most of that. So don't be frightened to chew your bush around, because you'll get better flowers. And see, what I've left there is that one there. And some people do these with a little sharp knife or something like that. Well, there's the bud that I want, and I've taken those two out, back down to there. And when that is the size of those, when we put the wires on, I'll come and put a wire on, which by the time they get that size, they'll be up here. So, see, once again here, we've got a bud that I don't want, and I'll just flick him out like that. There's one that I do want. I don't want too many on here, although this is only a small, so you can have a lot more than you can on the large ones. So I've got two here. That there's no bud in there at all, or there. I've got a bud over here. Just those two buds at the side, they come out. These two down here, because that'll just shoot out around it and have a short stem bud. And there we are. I'll bring them more up from the bottom, and I've got these set at the top. So we're looking, that's not showing colour yet, so we're looking about, the first lot, about 21 days from now to 20 days from that point to flower, and up to, well, 25, about 26, 25 days for those. That's getting down to nearly the 28 for that size flower. What's on there. But by the time they get to flowering, these ones here will have buds on them. As these get another week, this will have a pea-sized one. On this one over here will have pea-sized one on it, and so on. And that's the way. The more you work your bush, the more it comes up. The more laterals you got, the more flowers, keeps flowering.